his black shit. Then that coon, man, these niggas can't help that stuff. I believe it's a spirit being on these niggas with that coon shit. POW.
Yo. Man, that was a good story, big boy. That was a good story, man. You should tell that story again. It's your boy Furious, aka POW, Prisoner of War, and my co-host, Big Boy, BB25. Let's get it.
What's up? What story are you talking about?
The Chris story. Tell that story.
Oh, yeah. Let me get to it. It's crazy. It's amazing. Yeah, it's frustrating. It was frustrating, my brother. Shout out to everybody. Give me a second, man. Let me do some sharing and see if we can.
Yeah, for sure. Right there. There you go. Right there. I'm gonna play this while we get everything set up. Almost there in a second. Yo, yo, yo. I'm just sending out some invites to all the platforms. A lot of people want to see this. A lot of people hit my inbox about this topic. We see a lot of interracial propaganda and agendas, right? And if you know anything about America, America has never pushed an agenda that was constructive for foundational Black Americans. A lot of people don't know that the Pentagon and Hollywood got connections. I think they said what this. I heard somebody said they got like a place in the Pentagon for like Hollywood, you know, all the stuff in the movies. Like all this stuff is connected, man. It's connected for a reason. We think we see these agendas on TV, and we think it's just something normal that we supposed to see, all right? But it's a reason for that, man. I post a lot of Black love propaganda, as some might say, or Black love images and stuff like that. And I'm not anti-interracial, but I'm anti agendas and propagandas. I'm anti-social engineering. I'm anti uh, brainwashing of my people. I think we done had enough brainwashing and social engineering. Um, when you look at the Black family as, hey, big boy, you back?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you look at the Black family as a whole, or the Black community as a whole, over 70% divorce rate. We hot. We lead in abortions. All right, impoverished communities. We don't got time to be like doing extra stuff that's not building the Black man, the Black woman, the Black family. We ain't got time for that, man. We ain't got the luxury to engage in these endeavors. Hollywood has never gave us an agenda. So Hollywood has never gave us an agenda that was beneficial to us. All the way from the minstrel shows, all the way from black exploitation, all the way to the 80s, gang banging colors and all that, to the 90s, 2000s. They have never gave us an image or a depiction that was accurate, right? Never. But we got our heads so far up the proverbial ass that we don't see these agendas for what they really is in social engineering, right? So when I go and I make my platform about Black love, Black family, Black unity, anti-agenda, anti-propaganda, I had one of my homies I grew up with, he caught offense to some of the stuff I was posting. You know, I was pointing out how all these Black brothers are out here, all these high value Black brothers are going with going with the Karen or the Becky. You see them at all the drafts. Um, the Karen on the arm of the athlete before they even make it to the league, and when they make it to the league, you see them, the Karen on the arm. So yeah, I'm highlighting that on my platforms. And one of my homies, he he commented on my post. He told me that what I be posting is hateful because I'm saying that the black man was made for the black woman. All right, and me and him, we had a falling out about it. And I think he got a lot of nerve. All the stuff this man has done, right? But he got the nerve, you know, he disrespected sisters and sell poison to his people, right? All that is cool, but when it comes to talking about our 400-year oppressor, oh, nah, that's hateful. You got something to say, big boy?
No, sir, not yet.
Yeah, man. So I just think people got a lot of audacity to say anything I post is hateful. I think selling poison to our people is hateful. I think the whole sexy red 2024, the value and the stock of the black woman went down because of this whole sexy red stuff. I'm offended by a lot of stuff out here, right? I
Oh,
think it's a lot of stuff that's hateful out here,
I was
right?
actually multitasking when you was talking, but I heard bits and pieces of the story. Now your family member, your friend was got offended because you guys were talking about
Cause I be posting stuff like, black love and the black man made for the black woman. And I be posting like, like remember that one picture or video of the black guy, uh, the engagement, the Redskins. I be posting that and saying like, yeah, this
right,
that bullshit, right?
right.
He get him and a couple other snow bunny lovers, they get offended when I post that type of stuff.
So the fact that you're about the nuclear black family, and that's the foundation that you would rather stand by, they have an issue with that. They want you to love everybody. They want
Mhm.
well, that just goes to show um, how we as black people been programmed through Christianity and a lot of other things to think that it's about everybody and all, but yet and still every other culture, every other race always put themselves first. The majority of Latinos, Mexicans, they look out for their own. When we look at the Asian community, they look out for their own. They look out at the Arabic. When we talk to the Arabic community, they look out for their own. So, I mean, it's called survival of the fittest. No one's advocating to go and be hateful to other people. All we saying is we should take interest in self first. If we as black people come together as a whole and don't love each other and look out for each other as a top priority, then what we expect when we are looking for anything outside of that. So I mean, that's just programming of the mind by these people, basically, what you're dealing with. And unfortunately, a lot of our people are programmed. While being programmed, the same people who say it with their mouth, but their actions show different because it wouldn't be white privilege if it was what they're getting angry about. White privilege wouldn't exist if the world saw it normal to just be about everybody and all. See, the world good actors, everybody good at talking with their mouth, but their actions show different. So you can hear white people go around, oh, I have black friends, or I don't see color, or color's not this and that and that and this. But yet still, there are fights and battles and things we go through in this country and things that we have to be aware of simply because we're black and that they're gonna always look out for their own first. So we just gotta our people program, man. They see something wrong with it to the point it feel like it's right to them. They don't even understand that they off basis. They off base with choosing anything other than yourself first. First God, then yourself. It's all or nothing, and that's how whites and Asians and other groups have been able to go across the world, the globe, and conquer everywhere they go. You see a European country or an Asian country with a flag posted on African soil came here to the United States, the Americas. They did the same to the people here on Turtle Island, the indigenous people of this land. So that's always been our problem, POW. If you ask me, and I really believe that's what Martin Luther King woke up to when he said, uh, "I think I led my people into a burning house." I think he realized that this fight for togetherness was a mistake that we should have been continuing to fight to just continue to stay a strong unit amongst ourselves. The hybrid shit, it's just not working. It's never been good or healthy. Hybrid anything, give me an original.
Hey, hey, why do you think there's so many why do you think so many brothers, like athletes, why do you think that they are marrying the Karens and the Beckys, that they're getting attracted? Like, what is it? Like, what's going on? What do you think?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because I forgot who it was the other night. We were having a conversation about it, and they made a point, something that really made me think. I forgot who it was I was talking with, and they said something key. And it's going to trigger some people, but a lot of where we are right now, there are several factors. I say there are several factors. Okay, and by saying several factors, I will start by saying what I'm starting to learn. One of the main ones is right now where we are. Um, and it's no excuse for it, but brothers, women outside of the black women, especially white women, are investing in black men. So when we see these black athletes, or we see black men that has a lot of potential, a lot of sisters now willing to invest in black men. What they want to do, you got to come already ready made. You have to be making a certain amount a month. I mean, a year. If you're not making such and such a year, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing that, if I make more money than you or just as much money as you can't do nothing for me, right? So they're not willing to invest in a man and see that hey, this man may this man had a potential to be one of the greatest. So I'm gonna be right here by his side. See, it's not enough of women like LeBron James' wife who was there by his side when he was nothing and been through the long haul with that brother. She believed in that brother. She was right there by his side. A lot of these young brothers are not finding women like that these days from black women. They're not finding that from black women. What they're finding that from are groups of women that seeing black women dropping the ball, so they stepping up. So when a brother going through college and he going through his tough times and trying to prove himself, and sisters not dealing with him because you ain't no different than me. You make the same amount than I make. That white girl sitting there saying, "Oh, I see the potential in him. He has a future." So she there and she's investing in him. She got his back. She's there with him on them cold, hungry nights when he run out of money. She the one running to the Whole Foods in the grocery store and bringing him his energy bars and loading his cabinets up with apples and oranges and fruits. She's the one that's stocking his cabinets with ramen noodles and cans of tuna fish, whatever he need to get by. She the one holding them down, right? She's the one sometimes have no problem saying, "Okay, I understand you're in school, you got this going on, that going on. I'm gonna treat you to let me treat you to dinner." You know, she investing in him, and when he make it big, he know who had his back. So that's a fraction, and then you have just from the manipulation of the divide and conquer to separate the man and the woman to when a black man and a black woman come together, there's a strength in black family, you know, a family. So the powers that be understand that as well, so they're gonna always try to divide us. And they've been playing this game for a long time, where they make the black man appear or seem incompetent to be able to take care of family. So a black man, and I'm gonna land with this because I can go on and on about this, but I'm gonna stop here so I won't be so long with it. But a black man could go and he do most of the work on a job, but get the lowest pay. He's the one doing all the work to get the work done, but getting the lowest pay at most times. And he's not able to take care of his family like he can because he's being underpaid. And then what they do, they let women progress and give women the jobs with decent pay, and that's gonna cause divide. Or the man can't hold a home down like he can, so he step in and say, "Well, look, there's some services I could provide you, and we're gonna make sure you have food and shelter, but we're not gonna be able to do it with a man in there because he should be able to take care of you." Well, how should he be able to take care of you if he don't get a even playing field when he go out in the workforce to take care of his family? Y'all want to keep him on the low pay scale, digging ditches and stocking fucking shelves. So, it's a game being played. I didn't mean to be so long winded, brother. My apology.
No, no, brother, man, you on point, man. You on point. Uh, yeah, when brothers say they love black people, but they laying up with a Becky, that's how they look.
Kinds of bitches up in here. Hey, what did I tell you about disrespecting my Nubian princess? With disrespect, oh my God, the mother of Mecca is right here before me. Do my eyes not deceive me, or am I looking at the goddess Isis herself? Can you do me a favor, my brown skin angel? Can you tap that white girl for me? My milk of magnesia. Oh, after the devil made you, he broke the mold. Well, maybe you and I could make a little jungle fever.
Daddy was the ugliest white girl you could find.
Dog.
That was funny.
Niggas said my milk of magnesia. I didn't understand the significance of that when I was younger, but now I'm like, yeah. that was realer than I thought. The Wayner brothers was woke a long time ago. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
When you really pay attention, boy, the Wayner brothers was woke.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, you can't say you're pro black, man, and you laying up with a Karen or Becky, man. That's not how it goes, you know?
Yeah.
That is not how it goes.
Actually, a lot of people feel that you can, boy. It's amazing how many people, especially black people, think that you could do that.
And I just don't get it, man. I just don't I I don't see it the way they see it. You feel me? I be trying to see it the way they see it. Like if you look at South
You
Africa,
know what I think it is? I think it's that they think that it's going to take away from the great black people that we had that did a lot of good things for the black community. I'm talking about brothers and sisters like uh uh um
Maya Angelou, Frederick Douglass,
yeah, all of that.
uh, Byron Johnson. These are
Yeah,
all people that are with white, uh, that have been married to white people, but we can say they have done something for the black community. And my theory on this, and you tell me if there's any holes in it, I say that you could be pro-black and you could be black and you could be black conscious minded,
yeah, yeah.
right? So even if you is with a Karen or Becky, your mind is still black. Yeah, you with Karen or Becky or Kyle or Chad, but your mind is consciously still black in America. So when we say, because they always want to say, well, Frederick Douglass, he had a Karen or Becky, but they don't want to. But they also don't want to talk about Mary Ann Douglas, who was, a freedom fighter and used to get, you know, it used to get dirty when it came to freeing black people and liberating us, right? But she got sick and she died. Mary Ann Douglas, right? I might be messing up her name, but Mary Ann Douglas. She had got sick and died, and then Frederick Douglass found uh the white lady and he married her, right? So I would say that Frederick Douglass was conscious, he was black conscious minded. He knew the plight of his people. He knew, he was smart enough to uh do things like help out Abraham Lincoln with the Emancipation Proclamation. Um, yeah. So yeah, he was a cool brother, black conscious minded, but I can't say that he was pro black. I can't say that he was pro black because he laid down with a Karen or Becky. Unfortunately, that's just the way it go. You know. Look, man. Like I always tell you, big boy, I can't. Let's say I'm teaching some kids, right? I'm teaching 12 young black boys, right? And I'm telling them, listen, uh, vegan is the way. Vegan is the way. Don't eat no cow. Vegan is the way. Green first. Don't eat no cows. And then one day, 6 of the boys from the classroom see me at uh JJ's Chicken Burgers, steak and chicken burgers, eating steaks with the cloth inside my shirt, barbecue all on the cloth and all on my fingertips, and I'm eating all the steak. They gonna, they gonna be like, hold on, man, you told us this, but you doing this. So you got to be who you say you is. If you telling the next generation that black is beautiful, right? Because that's what the 12 kids is the equivalent of the next generation. If you telling the next generation that black is beautiful and uplift your community, and all these other things, push for black families and all that, you can't be with a Karen or Becky. You ain't who you say you is. You ain't living it up. The next generation gonna see through that. They're not gonna buy that. You feel me, big boy?
Yes, sir.
They're gonna see through that. And that's why our kids as a whole don't respect us as a whole. Because we be telling them one thing, but then we be rapping the Young Jeezy and shit. You know what I mean? Like we be telling them one thing, but then we be doing a whole nother thing. And they be seeing us get screwed, but we don't be doing nothing. That's why the young generation don't really rock with the older generation, because they see we lukewarm. The young generation be ready to crash out, but they be looking at us, taking the cues like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm gonna just survive. You know? You got something to say? I was gonna play a video.
Nah, play the video, brother.
Yeah, why the wings forever? Yeah, no. Dr. Umar, your expressions and phrases will soon get into the dictionary. No burning crisis. Yeah, why the wings forever? Yeah, no bunnies never. So tell us, what that is for those who don't know.
Yes.
Snow bunny crisis.
The snow bunny crisis relates to the tendency for black men in European societies to pursue white women as their mates at a rate that exceeds what any man of any other color does with regard to interracial dating. Black men love white women, and it's because of racial inferiority. It's because I need validation. It's because I've been brainwashed to look at my own woman as being less than. It's because I want my children to look like my oppressor in order for me to feel like a man. So it is a psychological sickness born of post-traumatic slavery disease and post-traumatic colonization disorder. And it is destroying and eroding the foundation of the traditional black family all across the world.
So does it mean that you're still against anti-racial marriage?
Absolutely. I do not support it. I'm not against the white woman or the red woman or the brown woman or the yellow woman. Human being, I will respect you. But the family is the most essential institution of the black community. You lose that, you lose everything. In America, only 1 out of every 4.
Man, you hear what he said? You hear what he said? He said, I'm not against the white women. I'm against he said, I'm for the institution of the black family. Right? Come on, big boy. He broke it down.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. We got to hear that one more time if I go to any other videos. I got a lot of videos.
Yeah, why the wings forever? Yeah, no. Dr. Umar, your expressions and phrases will soon get into the dictionary. No burning crisis. Yeah, why the wings forever? Yeah, no bunnies never. So tell us, what that is for those who don't know.
Yes.
Snow bunny crisis.
The snow bunny crisis relates to the tendency for black men in European societies to pursue white women as their mates at a rate that exceeds what any man of any other color does with regard to interracial dating. Black men love white women, and it's because of racial inferiority. It's because I need validation. It's because I've been brainwashed to look at my own woman as being less than. It's because I want my children to look like my oppressor in order for me to feel like a man. So it is a psychological sickness born of post-traumatic slavery disease and post-traumatic colonization disorder. And it is destroying and eroding the foundation of the traditional black family all across the world.
So does it mean that you're still against anti-racial marriage?
Absolutely. I do not support it. I'm not against the white woman or the red woman or the brown woman or the yellow woman. Human being, I will respect you. But the family is the most essential institution of the black community. You lose that, you lose everything. In America, only 1 out of every 4 black women will get married. It's not much better in the UK or Paris or Canada or South Africa, you see. So if I want to save black people, I got to save the black family. Moreover, marriage is an economic alliance. Women on average outlive men. So if I marry a snow bunny, She's not going to take any of my wealth, any of my estate, any of my savings, and bring it to Guadalupe and build a school for black children. Kobe Bryant was a billionaire. He left all that money to a Latino woman. She's not going to bring any of that money back to Philadelphia to help our children. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the former middleweight boxing champion, he died as a result of the COVID vaccination. A white woman inherited his estate. She's not going to take any of that money to a black community. And that's why I look at interracial dating and marriage as a form of financial betrayal and economic sabotage.
So if a brother comes to you and tells you, you know what, Dr. Umar, love doesn't have complexion, love doesn't have color.
And I'm going to say, you are a coon. Get your ass up out of my face.
You never try to out.
Yeah,
Black queens forever.
yeah.
No.
My bad, Dre. Hey, what up, though, Dre? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. How you doing?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man.
What's up, Dre?
Hey, what's up, big boy? This is different.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, man. Definitely respect your input.
Good to
Thanks.
see you in the building. Shout out to the brother Dre. So what's up, man? How was your weekend, Dre?
Good. I appreciate that. It was okay, man. Busy, taking down, cleaning and taking down some stuff on my roof. I had to change some tiles on my roof.
Okay. What's the weather like over there with you guys? I heard they got a storm threat that's about to hit across the whole country. What are you
Yeah.
guys looking like for that?
Good, man. Good for now. We did have some rain the other day, but for the most part, it's been pretty sunny, consistent temps of like 80, 85 to 79 degrees.
I wonder what you guys gonna look like this week when that winter storm hit. Or are
I
you
don't know.
way out of it?
I would have to look. I'm not sure where it's going to land.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Well, anyway, how you feel about the topic, man?
Where's the topic? Can you be pro-black and date outside your race? I think it depends on how you define pro-black, right? Oftentimes, and I know we've not on this platform, but oftentimes we've had these conversations. It depends on how you define it, right? I heard some of what Dr. Umar was talking about there, and his argument about the financial aspect, right? I think that there's some merit to it, but overall, I think he oversimplifies human experience in that way. So I think you can. I think from how people define pro-black, there is a way you can, if you are active in your community, if you are financially a benefactor to your community, creating multiple areas of opportunity for people. I think you can be, and I think that that is not negated by the person that you marry or you're in a relationship with. Personally, that's my view on that.
Okay. Could you agree that most other groups see the importance of valuing their own first? I like to use for the example, Dre. When we talked about Asians, whether it be Chinese, Japanese, or Mexicans, whether it be Arabics, different people of that nature, and it even go down further because I know you like to break it down. People from Yemen, or people from Palestine and different places. They have those groups where they're all about their Palestinian people, all about their Yemen brothers and sisters, and then as a whole, overall, they're also about Arabic people in general, Arabic Muslims and things of that nature. Do you recognize that in most other places that people, and even in America with white America, that they take top priority with seeing themselves first before others as a norm?
Yeah, I mean, cultural preservation, right? Cultural preservation is a legitimate concern for a lot of communities, to be honest with you, especially communities that like experience either marginalization, displacement, or like cultural erasure. So I think that's legitimate. But honestly, however, I think prioritizing cultural preservation, it should not come at the expense of individual autonomy for me, especially for us as like culturally American. Have you heard me use that term, culturally American? Um, or the ability to choose partners based on like personal values, compatibility, or love. I think that's I think that's important for me to kind of. I hope I answered your question.
You got anything you want to say, POW?
Yeah, Dre, what about the argument? So you know I'm pro-black, right?
Yes, sir.
So there's more white women than there are black women, right? In America, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
So, and black women will be the first ones to tell you that they got slim pickings because so many of so-called black men are even in jail, uh, have aspired to to the afterlife, right? Or maybe they might be, just not for them. Whatever, whatever. Uh, would you say that these women? Hold on 1 second. I'm getting a call. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, my bad. So, yeah, so um, so basically, there's going to be a lot of black women that's left out of this thing, right? Because they're not going to be able to find a mate, right? Because it's already slim pickings. Then when you add the Karen and Becky dynamic, right? That's even more slim pickings for our black women. So that means it's going to be a lot. If you do the math, it's going to be a lot more black women that's not having babies, not procreating, especially with this agenda going on, right? Do you equate all that in there? Like, because as a pro-black person, we care about black women, right? Don't you want all black women to have provision and protection and a strong man to take care of them, right? Don't you want, or it really don't matter to you? How you feel about that?
Yeah, man. So again, there's no denying that systemic factors like mass incarceration, premature deaths, socioeconomic disparities disproportionately affect black men. Right? There's no denying that, and that limits the dating options for black women. Just to be very clear, I want to make sure that I honor what you said there. That's 100% true. Um, I think that while interracial marriages does reduce the number of black men in the dating pool, so to speak, I think it's important to put that into perspective, right? So about like I forgot the number, man. We talked about this before. I usually keep these on hand. I just came in today, kind of filling this out. Next time I'll be more prepared. I think it's roughly 15% of newlywed black men marry outside their race. Oh, and with white women, right? However, the majority, which is 85%, still marry black women, those that are actually getting married. So I think that kind of looking at that is more important, right? And I think the narrative that interracial marriage is significantly contributing to slim pickings for Black men, I feel like it may be overstated. Even with like interracial marriage, the otherwise majority of Black men continue to marry Black women. Many black women also choose to date or marry outside of their race as well, suggesting that I think it's not affecting the percentage of Black marriages to the degree in which potentially you're suggesting that it could or will.
I agree with your numbers.
I don't even know if I'm going off the top of my head. I hope
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. No, but you was close. They always say numbers don't lie. And my little saying is, you're right. They don't lie, but they don't always tell the whole truth, right? So if you got an agenda, right? If you got an agenda where all you see is interracial, I can go on Google right now and it would tell me that interracial marriages are on the rise in America and I'm sure other countries, but America specifically. So before something can get to a micro, it has to first be a what, Dre?
Before it gets to macro?
Macro. It has to be a what?
Micro and meso.
Yeah. So projection, trajectory, the direction it's going in, I can say that it's going to be on the rise. It's going to get bigger, right?
I don't know. I don't think we've. I don't know. So I'm going off the top of my head. I would have to look into this, but I think we've seen consistent numbers of Black men marrying Black women over the past, at least within my time frame, 40 years.
So every time you see a celebrity or an athlete, you know what? Never mind. Let me show you. Let me play this video.
White women are being given positions that Black men who are not married to white women are not being given. Why? Because the white system perceives that as a safe individual. Why? Because it is not only compromised in bed, but he is psychologically compromised. I mean, anytime you get in bed with somebody, sex is a very profound human act. And it has extreme psychological implications that spread into your, what do you do in the area of economics? What do you do in the area of entertainment?
Why do we assume, though, that if a Black man goes to bed with a white woman, he has to be assuming that she's superior, or he has to feel that? He doesn't
have to. She is superior.
Yeah, but suppose in his relationship with her, does he have to feel that he's coming from the inferior position? What about...
She can take him anytime that she wants.
What about just the biology of it?
If she gets angry with him...
What about the biology of it? That is...
The most respected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman.
Marriage is a political decision. Who you marry tells me who you are. When you marry a woman, you don't just marry her. You marry her culture, you marry her community, you marry her people. The Snow Bunny crisis relates to the tendency for Black men in European societies to pursue white women as their mates at a rate that exceeds what any man of any other color does with regard to interracial dating. Black men love white women, and it's because of racial inferiority. It's because I need validation. It's because I've been brainwashed to look at my own woman as being less than. It's because I want my children to look like my oppressor in order for me to feel like a man. So it is a psychological sickness born of post-traumatic slavery disease and post-traumatic colonization disorder. And it is destroying and eroding the foundation of the traditional Black family.
So Dre, I added up all the money in that video. Well, the second half of the video, not even the first half, and it was like 9 billion or something. And we know it's more, and we know it. If I was to put all the Black athletes and Black celebrities on one video, I mean, come on, what's that, like a 3-hour video? That's a 3-hour video, Andre. So all that money, right? A lot of that money will not get ciphered back into the black community. For instance, if LeBron James, if something was to happen to him, right? I can assure you that a lot of his charter schools and charities to the black and brown community will still be getting funneled in there because not only is Savannah black, but she also grew up from Akron. You see what I'm saying? Is there any credibility, and you could be, you could be forward as possible?
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I think what you're asking for is the opposite in the right extreme of the bell curve, right? How many black celebrities are there as opposed to the entire black community, right? So are you saying that black people can't be pro-black if they don't date or marry black women? Or is it black celebrities need to be the first ones and the only ones who are pro-black because they have the most money? Because it seems like that's the change in argument now.
Well, the only reason I want you to follow me now, only reason why I showed the black celebrities is because remember we was talking about how the black woman has slim pickings, right? Me and you both agreed that the black woman has slim pickings because a lot of them black men are incarcerated. Some are unalive. Some might not fit the criteria or class of black women right now because of their economic boom, right? So we already know it's slim pickings. Then I played that video, right? So on top of that slim pickings, then you even got the high value black man they can't get. Even them. And I'm asking you to elaborate on that. Why?
The majority. So I can't argue as to why black male celebrities or athletes are choosing to interracially date. I don't know why they're choosing to interracially date. I've heard Dr. Umar in his tellings, right, talk about this kind of concept of inferiority, superiority. And so in his words, they would probably be deemed or looked at as kind of a status attainment symbol, right? White women. And so therefore, in his words, I'm assuming black women can't get these men because they don't see them as status symbols to attain. I don't agree with that. What I think is happening there is simply a market, not market, but kind of a pawn situation. I think these individuals get in these environments, right? These celebrity and or athletes getting these environments, and the women around them in these environments predominantly probably are Caucasian, to be completely honest. And the women that are Caucasian are placing themselves in that environment to attain access to these men. I think that's what's more so occurring. But to speak to that's that first part. But because you asked me to speak to it, but to speak to the first part you said, you and Dr. Umar, huh?
Yeah, speak to the credibility. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to speak to the first part you said, you and Dr. Umar hold the same view, right? On interracial relationships, right? And it does raise valid. I've said it. I'll say it again. It does raise valid concerns about systemic challenges Black people face in the community, including like economic disparities, cultural preservation, and historical injustice. I think it's, however, I will say this. I think it's important to recognize that being pro-Black is, for me, not defined solely by romantic choice. I think more so it's defined by actions, values, and commitment to uplifting the community in which you are a part of or live in. If you're Black and you live in that community or you connect to that community, I think that's more important. I think interracial relationships may evoke questions of like loyalty for some people, like it does for Dr. Umar. But I think it's important to remember that like the concept of like partnership and love are deeply personal decisions and not wholly socially constructed. Black men and women in interracial relationships, I think, can and often do remain active advocates for racial justice, supporting Black-owned businesses, mentoring Black youth, preserving Black culture within their families and communities. I think those are the things that make people pro-Black.
You got something to say, big boy?
No, but I did want to read what 40 posted. I love what he said. He said, "My position is when a black person marries outside of their race, it symbolizes a disconnect from the black community and is a reinforcement of white supremacy." What do you guys think about that comment? I agree.
Say it one more time. Repeat the chat comment one more time.
My position is when a black person marries outside of their race, it symbolizes a disconnect from the black community and is a reinforcement of white supremacy.
Oh yeah, it's definitely some merit to that.
Yeah, for me, I think reducing pro-blackness to interracial relationships, honestly, I think it risks oversimplifying, um, what's the word, a multifaceted type of identity. And I think it overlooks like broader systemic issues that truly harm Black empowerment, like mass incarceration, economic inequality, healthcare disparities, right? I think if we focus our energies on like addressing these systemic barriers, we can we can create like a stronger foundation for all Black individuals and families, regardless of who their romantic choice is. That's what I think.
But Dre, right now, all right, the black right now, in the black community, divorce rates are at 70%, right? We lead in abortions, right? Two, I don't got to bring out stats for how many impoverished communities across America that have people that look like me and you in there, right? You already know that.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't it be pragmatic and logical to start a movement that says, you know what? Yeah, that interracial stuff is, yeah, it look all right, but we gonna do this. Wouldn't that be, you know, wouldn't that be the thing to do? When I know you got a smartphone, you got a laptop and a TV. I know you see every time you turn on your TV, every commercial and all the movies you and your wife been watching is interracial couples, all right? With everything I said, divorce rates, abortion, broken homes, interracial, wouldn't it be pragmatic and logical to start a Black love movement?
If we were seeing a stark, based on the things you said before, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with the Black love movement, even though we know that the majority of Black men and women are marrying Black men and women, and it's a small percentage that isn't. The divorce rates are something I can't argue, and I won't even try to argue. You're right. I think me and Big Boy at some other time on a different platform talked about the concept of creating a healthy marriage movement. And talking about what that means. I think that would be most important. But if we saw a population decline that was concerning, I would be wholeheartedly with you on that. And I mean specifically for Black Americans, right? Foundational Black Americans. But we're not seeing that. In 2010, it was we made up, was that 12.6% of the U.S. population. Now we make up roughly 14.2. That is like what? That's a huge increase. Right. So in other words, it was like 38 million people, Black Americans in the U.S. in 2010. Now it's 48, I think 48 million. And so like we are still seeing a natural increase with all those things you mentioned. So I don't see this causing a significant decrease in the Black American population to justify an exclusionary practice that you're talking about.
I don't think those numbers might be right, but I don't think that like I said, I don't think they tell the whole truth because we know that right now Black culture is not Black families. That's just not our culture right now, unfortunately. You know? You got anything to say, Big Boy? If I play another video?
No, I'm good.
Yes, sir. Let me see. Yeah, man. I wonder your take on, like, if it wasn't for colonization, right? If it wasn't for colonization and them kidnapping our ancestors and bringing us over here, and because I don't know if anybody noticed, but Europeans colonized 90% of the earth, right? So if you colonize 90% of the earth, right, of course, eventually, like, the people that you oppress is going to start finding you attractive because you got a lot of the powerful roles and you have oppressed the people that was on that land. Am I crazy? Am I off on that on that theory, Dre?
I'm sorry. Say that. I apologize. Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
No problem. I said so Europeans colonized 90% of the earth, right?
Okay.
You can Google that.
Yeah.
So it would be logical to think that, of course, people will find, of course, the oppressed people, some of the oppressed people might find them attractive, right? Because once they oppress the people on all these lands, right, they got the powerful positions and they the ones calling the shots because they oppressed all the people, like, right? Don't that make sense? Or is that off?
That could play a part in it, right? Because then you got to talk about like the concept of something as simple as like beauty standards, right? Primary, secondary beauty standards. If you have control of a group of people in a population, the concept of what it means to be beautiful, what it means to be powerful, what it means to be successful, all these things are going to be implemented by the majority rule, right? And by majority, I mean the person in power. So that you have a point there. There could be something to that.
Yeah, let me play this video. That's what's up, though. Appreciate that.
So what are your thoughts on interracial dating?
Well, my thoughts are this. Because we've been so mentally destroyed in America, we've been turned upside down, inside out. We've been actually made to hate our black self. When you're looking at a man or a woman who hates themselves and hold white to the highest esteem or belief in. So we've been made in America an unnatural people. We're not natural to our nature. What do you mean, Brother Muhammad, we ain't natural to our nature? Look, if I go to Barnum and Bailey Circus and I'm watching this little white guy out there with a whip, and you're looking at these lions, you would really believe that that man tames lions. That's bull crap. That's a game. They took them lions was cubs when they first got here. They put fear in those cubs. And they put those cubs on a stimulus response mechanism, meaning they fed them 3 square meals a day. They would put pain on them and crack a whip, put pain on them and crack a whip. So they programmed them. So they would make you think this white lion tamer got these lions jumping through hoops. When you're at Barnum and Bailey Circus, you're not looking at a natural lion, you're looking at an unnatural lion. Because he's been conditioned mentally to obey white folks. If you take that unnatural lion and take him back to Africa and let him loose, he'd be dead in 2 days. Back to his natural habitat, because the other lions ain't gonna accept that punk, because that's a Negro. He ain't militant enough for Mufasa now, because he's other than himself. In fact, he ain't gonna even hunt, because a white man been giving him 3 square meals a day. He's been in a circus with other animals that he would otherwise eat in Africa, but if they let him out of the cave, he gonna go over there and try to befriend the damn monkeys. Or you see where I'm going? Now, if I was a real natural black man in my own natural habitat, I would obey the law of self-preservation. I want to preserve me. You don't see a bee falling in love with a fly and marrying a fly. That's unnatural. You don't see a cat dating a chicken.
Right.
Because that cat naturally wants to self-propel itself. I am a revolutionary, and you're going to have to keep on saying that.
Yeah. How you feel about that video, Dre?
I think it's an oversimplification of humanity, specifically human interactions with other populations and cross mingling. Right. I think what that gentleman did was oversimplify the experience of Black people in this country down to the fact that we are, because essentially what he's talking about is behavioral conditioning, right? It's like P.F. Skinner, behavioral conditioning. Ring a bell, give a treat. Ring a bell, give a treat. Ring a bell, give a treat. Next time you ring a bell, the dog will salivate because he's associating the bell with the treat. And you now condition the dog to salivate anytime you ring a bell. That's oversimplification. And we can look at the world and the history of the world to say that. There has been cross mingling, if you want to call it that, or cross interactions of marriage and relationships of people of different cultures and skin colors throughout the history of the world, consistently. That's how we got many, like the Pakistani people are essentially a cross mingling of the Persians and the indigenous peoples of India. That entire culture is a cross mingling, and the Hmong are a cross mingling. There is a cross mingling of people of many people around the world that has nothing to do with a subjugation and a conditioning in order to live, quote unquote, unnaturally. That is not what happens in human interaction, nor what has ever happened in human interaction, unless our argument is that white people and Black people are not the same species.
So okay. I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna go to Big Boy. So, all the Black people globally right now are living on land that are controlled by Europeans or controlled by so-called white people. Can we agree with that?
All of the Black people?
Most. Most.
Well, to be honest, I don't even need to. I would say significantly yes. I don't want to try to split hairs with you. I want to be genuine.
Yeah, okay. So they control that. Like, they control everything. So I don't see what you're saying.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is throughout history, we've seen cultural groups intermingle that have nothing to do with white people. You can look at the another example. What is it? Help me out here. The northeastern side of Africa, Somalia, right? Those individuals are a mixture of two people groups: the Arabic and the indigenous Africans from the southeastern area.
No, hold on. No, my point is this. We can say that most of the land of indigenous, aboriginal, or so-called Black people, they're not making their own decisions when it comes to politics and where to push the land forward because of white people, right? So
Okay.
they don't have no control of their land. So I'm just trying to figure out what are you talking about?
But what I'm saying is I'm speaking to the video. The videos.
They don't control no culture. Your point is that there is no conditioning. I'm telling you that if Europeans colonize 90% of the earth and they're still pushing their ideologies and their culture, right? Then obviously there is a conditioning. There has to be a conditioning, because I can tell you that the South African man, he don't want them there. I can tell you that the Aboriginal man from Australia, the oldest people in the world, they don't want them there. The few Argentinians that they didn't kill, they don't want them there. the Native Americans here in America, they don't want them there, right? So none of these people want to be in the condition that they are in right now. But what you seeing is that these people have not been conditioned.
Right.
And but they have been abiding by white rules and ideology for the past 500 to some of them 100 years.
Right. That's not conditioning though. That's not social conditioning. What that is unfortunately it's might making right. I don't agree with it, to be very clear, but it's might making right. The fact that we had the bigger guns, ability to take what was yours, take you from what was yours, and then from there establish a rule that you have to now live in, right?
That's conditioning, Dre.
No.
That's
That's not
conditioning.
conditioning. Conditioning.
Hey, Dre, if I come to rob you and kidnap you, right? And I hold you hostage for like a month, you're gonna be by the end of the month, you're gonna be conditioned by what I want you to do. In a month, we talking about hundreds years, 500. You know, when you come to the Australian people, it's probably been like 300 years, 200 years. They've been going through that, whatever. But yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying. Like that is the true definition of condition, when you have to do what another race is telling you to do for a certain amount of time. Eventually, you have to be conditioned.
In what way? Explain this to me. How? Because I think we understand
Okay,
the term
I'll
conditioning.
tell you.
All right.
Black Americans right now, we are conditioned. We are conditioned with rap music. We are conditioned with this government. We are conditioned with American society, and we are not connected to those forefathers. Those forefathers of tradition, culture, and ideology. We are conditioned to whatever happened after slavery, whatever happened after white flight, whatever happened after redlining and 94 crime bill, the 80s. All right. We are conditioned, all of us, whether you believe it or not.
I see what you're saying. You're saying being okay. So you're
I
using the term differently.
I have the last name of a slave master. I have the last name of an evil person that brutally beat and enslaved my people. That's the true definition of conditioned, no matter how I cut it.
Yeah, we're using the term differently. I understand what you're saying. Yes, we are all a byproduct of the culture in which we've lived in and had to experience, right? Our ancestors before us. Where I'm looking at conditioning, it's different. So I apologize. What I was saying before is classical conditioning is what I was talking about. The concept of, like I said before, P.F. Skinner, the dog. I sit here and I systematically, continuously do a thing to get a response, with you as an individual. And as I do this thing over and over again to get this response, you are now conditioned that when I do A, you feel like B is going to happen, and so you do C. But B is gone. Think slot machines without getting any money. That's what I was thinking about. You're not talking about that. You're talking about the fact of becoming accustomed, becoming acclimated to another culture, essentially.
Yes, sir. Hey, big boy, you got something to say?
No, sir. Just enjoying the conversation.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I got background anyway, so I'm just enjoying the conversation.
All right, for sure. Yeah, man, that was okay. That was dope, man.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Big boy, can you hear me?
Yes. What's up, brother?
I finally seen that Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay. What do you think
Yeah.
about it?
It was good, man. It was inspirational, like you said, man. It was very uplifting, man. Very
I
uplifting.
cried. I cried in it.
You cried, Dre?
I did. Yeah, I cried in it.
Yeah, I got teary eyed as well, man. It was dope. It had humor, but it was so real. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah. I got choked up when he was that part where he was. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but when he was specifically talking about his daughter playing the guitar for him.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
Yeah,
choked up there.
yeah, that was beautiful, Dre.
Yeah.
I agree 100%, man.
What did the other brothers say? They said they didn't like it, or they said it wasn't funny.
They say it was trash. Gordon Wolf said him and his wife turned it off.
Damn. God damn.
Ford, I see you, man. I can't help it, Ford. I did get teary eyed, bro. My eyes did get watery for that Ford. Ford left a message saying we soft. But nah, man. It was great to me, man. I don't think
It was great, but I would say that it wasn't overly funny. But I would say that it was a great experience.
I don't think and I agree, but I don't think it was meant to be over.
Yeah. That
Like
part
he wanted
also.
to give his story in his way with humor and
To the best, yeah.
I just gotta admit, I think Ford is saying the same thing. Hold on. He said it wasn't a comedy, it was though. I guess he's gonna give me some clarity on that.
All right.
The thing for me, the thing people forget is that comedians do two types of things, right? The first one to do is just straight up set a stand up, right? And then the second one, which Richard Pryor has done this, Dave Chappelle has done this. They do a narrative driven show as well. These narrative driven shows are more introspective and more related to like life events and lessons learned, right? So it's think of it as like comedians therapy, essentially, is what it is. They come up and they share what they're feeling with the masses as a way to get it out, maybe even make sense of it for themselves, and hopefully connect with people in that moment. And I think that's very much so what he was trying to get put a finger on, more so than like just rah rah you so crazy funny.
Yeah, and I think that's what I think Big Body 40 is agreeing with what you're saying. That's what he meant in his comment. And to be honest with you, Dre, if I remember correctly, that's exactly what Richard Pryor did. What you're saying, you remember when Richard Pryor went back and he gave a story about that time when he caught on fire freebasing cocaine?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope how he did all that. And cause I've been wanting stand up from Jamie for a minute, because his old stand ups was classical to me. So I've been wanting, and it kind of goes to what he was saying, because in the stand up he was saying that he was basically saying that he got too big, like Jamie Foxx got so big that God gave him a stroke. Basically, if I want to put it in layman terms, he forgot, who he should be praising. He got a little too big, and God had to get him back on cold. So he got so big that he didn't want to do stand-ups no more. And I can't blame him for that, but I remember thinking like, damn, when he gonna do a stand-up again? But I'm thinking like, yeah, he an actor, all getting all these awards, all these $1 million movies. he ain't gonna do no stand-ups, but God gave him in his words, God gave him a stroke, and now he doing stand-ups again. he humbled. He humbled again, you know?
Yeah.
He was too good for stand-ups a couple years ago.
Yeah, God, it was humbling. It was humbling.
Yeah, it was
And
humbling. Yeah.
I think a lot of times that's how you people will respond as well, because a lot of times a lot of people can only understand things to certain levels on basically on probably their own experiences. Even if it's not the same experience, it's just having certain impactful experiences. I think that's why it was so touching to me, because I know what it felt like to be down and out and the doctors don't have answers and don't know what it was and things like that, or what caused things, or just being in certain situations. It brings you, it humbles you, and it brings you to a different level of how you see things in your journey of life, man. So I think that's why it was more impactful to me and a lot of others. And it don't have to be that same exact situation. Just people who've been through shit, man, and really had to go through and get through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I took from it. Two of the things you just said. One, the biggest thing I took from it was the concept of the fragility of life. Like, life is so fragile. Not just the fact that you can lose it in any moment, but the fact that you could also lose your status in life at any moment. And so status really, I mean, it's only temporary anyway. That's what I took from it. And the to relish in what you have around you that really matters, right? For him, it was his family, his 2 daughters, and his interactions he had with people that were in his life for a time, a season, right? I forgot what he named the woman who was helping him learn to walk again, but her she was an example of that. Halle Berry was another example of that, hilariously. I think that's one, but also the concept of like, humility. The concept of like, once I lost everything, I realized what was important, and that, I'm Jamie Foxx. Strokes don't happen to Jamie Foxx. Was something that he held on so hard to, but it was ultimately meaningless because a stroke did happen to you, regardless of who you were. And I think that's important too. That humility is what I took from it as well. So I agree with both of you.
Right, Dre. That part was hilarious to me as well when he said, how he kept doing throughout the show about how his buddy downstairs be talking to him, have the conversation with his buddy, and how his buddy came back to life when he gave Halle Berry a hug. I found that one funny as well, man.
Yeah, my just like you, big boy, my wife, I would say she has similar experiences, right? So she was over. I was looking at her, seeing she was gonna be choking up. I was surprised she wasn't crying, because I know she got similar things that he went through. She went through before. So yeah, it was definitely moving, man. Definitely moving. Hey, Dre, another question, man. The foundation of Black American lineage. How you feel about that? Do you think?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Some people say that it's too separating and whatever. How you feel?
POW, right quick before we expound on that question, could I read something Forty just sent me? And I think it's dope.
Yeah, go for it.
Have to hear it. Blacks should avoid stereotyping one another. Just because someone is funny doesn't mean that they should only be seen as a comedian. If someone plays basketball, it doesn't mean they should only be defined by that. Black individuals are complex, multi-dimensional.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Let's get it.
So yeah, Dre, I'm sorry. I know he asked you a question. I just wanted to share that. You could go ahead, bro.
No, that was good. I wholeheartedly agree with what 40 said. I feel like
I agree too.
Yeah. I feel like I've had to pigeonhole myself many a times I feel like I've been pigeonholed many a times in different places, man. So that resonated with me big time before you said there. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I mean, Dre, I get it, and I understand why you've been pigeonholed because of how you view things at times. But even with our bills and our dialogues, man, I tell you why I come at you the way I come at you. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you know, I appreciate you, man. I don't, no one is gonna be perfect and see things the same, but I do believe your heart and your mind is in the right place. So I hope you don't feel that you've been pigeonholed around us. We just don't agree with everything, man. But one thing, we can have those conversations. Feel me?
That's true. I agree.
Yeah, that's all.
POW. I'm sorry, man. Do you call yourself POW on here? Death before bondage. I gotta remember what you call yourself. Death
Furious.
before bondage.
Furious.
Furious. Sorry about that. All right, furious. What I was gonna ask is, could you ask me that question one more time? I apologize, brother.
How you feel? Well, I'm not gonna make any insertions. How you feel about How you feel about us delineating the foundational Black American?
Using the term foundational Black American?
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all. I think that it's more accurate for the experience of people who have lineage in this country, which is fine. I actually use it in my I'm using it, I should say, in one of my writings right now. In one of my research papers that I'm writing right now, I use the term foundational Black American, and I cite it. All the research that already uses it. I think it's a way to accurately label Black people who have had the experience of their ancestors going through the galvanizing experience of slavery, and not only slavery, but also the building of this country through their labor, their free labor. So I think it's relevant. I don't mind it at all.
Man, we need to. Hey, where Malik at, man? Get Malik in here.
You need somebody to disagree with you?
Hell yeah. No, I want him to disagree with you. I want you to say that to him.
Oh yeah, I think. Oh no, I don't mind. I don't mind using the term at all. I think, much like I'm gonna use a hot button topic here. I hope it doesn't get too out of hand. But much like the term feminist has lost its context with the groups that use it, at times the term foundational Black American has lost its context with the people who have used it. That's what I think has been happening. But the term within itself is not a negative to me.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Drake. So that means you understand the fact that you are aware that it has been taken out of context. You should understand where we coming from and what we're fighting against. The fact that you know how it's been taken out of and it's being misused and characterized and has the wrong meaning at this time.
I agree. I think I've always said that if you've ever heard me talk about it before, what you've heard me say is that individuals, and I'll say individual groups or people who identify as foundational Black Americans are dangerous for these rhetorics that they say. I think you've only ever heard me say that, unless I'm wrong.
Well, we can't control every we can control every person.
Not at all.
I mean, it's 44 million foundational Black Americans in America. Dre, we can't control when Tyrone, Pookie, or Ray Ray want to say some stupid, outlandish stuff. The tenets in the foundation of foundational Black Americans is we want reparations, and we gonna call out who undermines who undermines our fight for reparations and amendments and bills, and yeah, that's all.
And I think individual foundational Black American groups will vary with what their focuses will be, right? I think that's fine. Like if people identify as foundational Black American and this is what we want, right? Reparations. This is what we want. Social reform. That's fine. I think because you asked me a very direct question. the position of using the term of foundational Black American. Am I against it? What do I think about it? I'm very much so for it, because I think it helps to provide an accurate depiction of what the experience could mean. I actually I like that idea, right? It gives something more substantial than just saying African American, because as people have said before, someone can fly or come from a different country and then be identified as African American as well.
Yep.
I think the dangers, and this is what I've said before, I'll stand by this. The dangers occur when people who use the term or identification of foundational Black American then start to create this status of marginalizing other Black people to look like them by giving them derogatory terms, derogatory names, derogatory rhetoric to make them feel less than, because we've already all experienced that. We don't need to do that to other people.
I mean, I agree. I'm not gonna say I don't agree with that, but we can't control everybody. So always gonna be a couple of people that take it too far or bad apples in the bunch. That's what they say about the police and stuff, So always gonna be a couple of bad apples.
That's where you'll see me always call it out if I hear it. That's it.
Yeah, and you probably see me call it out too.
Earlier in an answer where you said that you talk about native Blacks, and so that clearly sounds as if you are delineating native Blacks versus someone that comes here from Bermuda or Jamaica or wherever they may they may come from. That is Black.
That's right.
And the purpose of that is what? Because you're on the surface, it would be like, hey, everybody here that's Black gets treated a certain way. Why are you making that delineation?
That is an excellent point. You know why? Because you see, those people coming in from Jamaica or coming in from Africa, they have not been treated like Black folk in this country. That's the first thing. And secondly, historically, they haven't had those historical experiences. They come in here voluntarily. When they come in here, they bring some cultural aspects from Africa. They can go back anytime they want. But the Black people in this country are exceptional people. Nobody's been mistreated, maltreated like them. Black folk are exceptional. They're the only people that came here forcefully. One. Two, they're the only people that denied their humanity. Three, they were the only people denied a right to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Four, they were the only people denied the right to participate in government. Five, they were the only people denied the right to vote. Six, they were the only people denied the right to have an education. Seven, they were the only people denied the right to have a business. Eight, they were the only people that participated in every war that this country has had since its founding, but whose mother country has never been against this country. All those immigrants come from countries where they fought America, and they came in. And the seventh, that they are the oldest and most patriotic people in the country. Not the Confederates in the South. They're not the most patriotic people waving the Confederate flag. The most patriotic people in this country are Black people, native Blacks, because you see 99% of all those Blacks have been direct descendants of slaves. They've been here before 99% of all the other people ever arrived in this country. They are special people. And because they are special people, they need to be recognized, appreciated, and reparated for what they've done in this country and building this country. They're the ones that built the bridges, the roads, cut the timber, the trees, and cleared the land, raised the tobacco, cotton, indigo. They're the people that's fought and raised in every war to protect this country.
All of them plotting on me. I know niggas is plotting on me.
Yeah, man. He broke it down so eloquently. Like, we don't be hard on our people from an African diaspora. We just want our respect. Our people were kidnapped. Like, our people didn't come to the American dream with a cigar and some yak or some water, sitting up, chilling, relaxing. They came at the bottom of some ships. And only the strongest survived on the Middle Passage, right? If you was lucky enough, because a lot of them slaves died from melancholy or diseases. Melancholy, where you're so depressed that all your bodily organs just stop functioning, right? Our people was enslaved for 400 years, 300 360 plus for sure, right? We was freed, 4,000 lynched, went through Jim Crow, right? Fast forward that, getting attacked by dogs with water holes and Black Panthers. J. Edgar Hoover calling us a threat to American society.
The Black Panthers are recruiting criminals and hoodlums and encouraging them to engage in a broad range of terrorist activities. They are the greatest threat to the internal security of this country. We want to make it clear to black youth that if they want to be revolutionaries, they will be dead revolutionaries.
So we went through all this stuff. We fought for our brothers and sisters to get over here through the 1964 Civil Rights Act. All right, for them to come over here, however they came over here, boat, water, road, whatever. We fought for them to come. We just want them to put a little respect on our name. Is that so much to ask, Dre? After my whole little soliloquy and presentation?
No. To request or demand respect from as a people group is fine. That's okay. I say again
for my brothers and sisters, not the white man. We talking about African diaspora. We just want.
I know what you mean. You're talking about from Caribbean peoples, Haitian peoples, African peoples. I know what you're saying. I think as long as we're not actively, not we, I'll just say foundational Black Americans. Yeah, as long as we're not actively trying to marginalize people to make them feel less than us, right? Requesting, demanding respect and setting boundaries is fine.
Well, that's what we doing.
Dre, you say as long as we're not what?
Actively marginalizing, minimizing, marginalizing, labeling, minimizing other people who look just like us, just to make them feel less than, then it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so what if we say something about certain groups of our own people? Something that they're actually doing, or a characteristic we actually see that could be problematic overall for the people. Would that be to call that behavior out? Would that be considered wrong?
Look at this picture. Candidate for Michigan, GOP says he plans to end Black History Month, and he's a Nigerian. This is what we call out. This is what we call a tether, Dre. He's Nigerian, so white supremacy says, all right, we're gonna get a non-foundational Black American to do this because we know that they'll be more susceptible to do it than the foundation. I mean, even the foundational Black American Sambo wouldn't do no stupid crap like this. You couldn't even get them the bag to do this. But if you find a Nigerian Sambo to do it, he would do it because his forefathers didn't die on this land under these people, right? Yeah. So should we be able to label people like this? Hold on, before you say something. How about her? She is a Jamaican immigrant, woman lieutenant governor, says we need to move on from slavery, right? Can we call these people out and call them tethers? Dre, you think?
I don't agree in any way with the term tether. I think that's just the beginnings of a marginalization, like in order to make people feel less than. I think what's going to happen with that, and then I'll get through. I will speak directly to what you just asked. I just want to say this. I think that using the term tether is just going to turn into anything you don't like that another group that is non-foundationally Black American says. That's going to turn into people just calling anyone tethers. It's going to start sounding a lot like a slur. I don't agree with the term at all. I think calling out the behavior is fine, right? For being harmful. But you gotta now to speak directly to the two people you said. The lady, I'll go backwards. The lady, I don't know the context in which she's talking about. I'm not sure what that meant. It was I would have to read more into that to give an answer. But that first guy, that is a clear indication of a person who has no what's the word, cultural ties to the people in which he's talking about. That's very clear. That man, if he's from Nigeria, if that picture stands true, I don't know. He has no cultural ties to America, right? In that way. So his term to speak on that is simply him politically trying to use a talking point that will resonate with white America, right? So that's who he is. That would be like an Indian.
Okay.
That would be like an Indian person coming to this country and saying the exact same thing, right? That would be like a Chinese person coming to this country and saying the exact same thing. His skin color does not connect him to us culturally in any way. And I think that's important.
That's a good point. Okay. But here's the difference. I'm a ride with you on this one. Here's the difference. That the Asian and the other person you named, they can't cosplay as foundational Black Americans.
True.
He's exclusive because he can cosplay as us, which makes him more what?
Viable to
dangerous.
To talk on those points? Oh, okay.
Dangerous. Makes him more dangerous to foundational Black Americans. Because to the public and to the naked eye, that's just a Black man saying we should get rid of it. A Black history, right? And that's what white supremacy is using. That's why we should label. We can't just sit back and let it be the elephant in the room and hope that it gets eradicated. No. When you label it, that's the first step. When you label it, that's the first step to eradicating it, Joy. Eradicating the problem.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, when you label something, you can label the behavior, right? But when you start to use labels, especially labels that can be taken as derogatory, that's the first step to just isolating from others, right? Now that those two, I'll just say two. I don't know the full context of the woman, right? But that
Candace Owens too. Candace Owens. I mean, come on.
But that man, right? The one you had, the one you showed before. He's a clear example of someone who will use racially driven narratives to try to get ahead in politics, right? But the thing is that's not where the term tether is going to stop. That's where you may stop the term. But if you allow the term to be used, we can't stop the term from being used. But what's going to happen, and which I've heard, is that if anyone has a disagreement with someone, they're going to be saying, "Oh, you just a tether anyway. Why are you even talking to me, tether?" I've heard that. I've heard that on the other app we're on, Furious, to where if just because you say something I don't like, you're now a tether, and that's the beginnings of just isolation and discrimination. And I don't want to be, as a foundational Black American, in any way connected to anything that my people have experienced. There has to be another, newer, more innovative way to move forward and to get progress. It can't be just copy and paste what we've been through onto other people.
I could respect you saying, Dre, that you don't want to be a part of it. I don't like the fact that you say it a copy and paste version, because I don't see it that way. And a lot of times when you call something out, you call out a behavior or something, especially if it's true, then I just it is what it is. Like now, If it's something that's false and it's not true and it's done, I can most definitely say, yeah, I don't want a part of that, or we should be a part of it. But I think we get lost in this idea that the truth supposed to feel good or the truth doesn't supposed to be uncomfortable. I mean, sometimes the truth hurts and the truth is truth. So if we come up with the term as a tether and someone is literally doing what the definition of what a tether is, it just have to be what it is. And sometimes the truth hurts. It is uncomfortable, regardless to how it's perceived, accepted, or how whatever it feels like. You know. So I mean, if someone's given tether, um, now if something is being made up or added on to or twisted and it's used and weaponized that way, I can agree 100% with you. But the two examples he gave to me are just clear cut examples of what a tether is. It's a definition of a tether. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Because what you're doing right now is kind of where we get penalized with, like, if we speak a truth about Jews, or if we speak our truth on how we feel about a community like the LGBT community, where we can't say certain terms, or we say certain terms, like we got to switch to grape, or we have to switch to certain terms because the world has become so soft and so weak that you can't say anything that may hurt, whether it's the truth or not. Instead of accepting the truth as just being the truth, it is what it is.
I hear you, man. And I'm not trying to word police anyone. I'm speaking about trends in history. I think the first way to start marginalizing people and dehumanizing people is to start labeling people, um, especially in terms that can be considered derogatory. I think that's the first thing you see. Um, and I personally don't want to impose that on other people.
Well, let's look at what dehumanizing, what a real definition or some examples of what dehumanizing mean. Because stating a fact to me isn't dehumanizing something. So if I see a behavior and it just goes totally against what would be considered a normal behavior, and it's odd, why not call that out and say what it is? Hey, man, it's odd. It's weird. It's strange. It's, I mean, I can understand you can't go to an extreme where it can be disrespectful, and I think just as humans, we have that downfall. Say, for instance, somebody go left field and something like, "Oh man, you bugged out," or "You a bug out," or "Man, stop you being a clown at this point." Something like that, I can understand. But I mean, the truth is the truth, and I don't put a tether in the same classification of calling somebody a weirdo or goofy or like as the actual name calling. A tether is just a definition of someone that had a characteristics of what we just heard and saw.
Candace Owens is a perfect example of a tether. She's not foundational Black American, but dominant society, and the dominant society uses her as, oh no, racism ain't real. Black people are the most unaliving group and blah blah blah, and uh stop talking about slavery, and they use her. She's
Where's her parents from?
uh Candace Owens, she from one of them islands. She from one of them Bahamas or
Oh,
Barbados. She from one of them, talking about racism isn't real. But racism was real for Candace Owens when she filed that lawsuit against the college for racism. It was real then when she got broke off that $30,000. You know, she's a grifter, and she is I mean, you could put her in a Supergirl cape, all right?
Well, well,
She's a super tether.
so let me ask you this, POW. And this just what we just conversating at this point. What would we consider someone that has foundational lineage, but still think like someone that's a tether? Say for instance, well, I'm good. I mean, you know the situation I told you about, um, what I dealt with. But that's not. I mean, or just say for instance, a foundational black person has the same, see things through the same lens as a Candace Owens, or
We wouldn't call them a tether. We would call them a NOOC backwards, but we're not gonna say that on the broadcast. You feel me?
mm-hmm.
But yeah, we would call them just a foundational Black American NOOC. Sambo. That's what we would call them. You know.
Yeah.
But a tether.
Well, see, Dre don't. That's what Dre is afraid that it's gonna get to that, because I'm sure Dre don't like that turn of the NOOC.
See, the tether is the. When you was a kid, and you got that new toy, and you want to play with that new toy.
Mm-hmm.
The tether is white supremacy's new toy. Because it's the perfect thing. It's a black Sambo that has no real lineage or no ties to foundational Black Americans. So I could pay and get this Sambo to do whatever I want to undermine foundational Black Americans. So the tether is that new fun toy out the gift package for white supremacy. Because it costs. Y'all don't want me to admit it. Y'all don't want me to say it, but the biggest tether was Barack Obama, because he had no foundational Black American ties, and he was able to undermine us while looking like us.
Yeah, I how do I put this, man? I still kind of stick to what I said about that idea, because when does it stop? When does it turn into, oh, because you're okay with interracial relationships and you're not from this country, you're a tether, right? Like when do we stop throwing the word around? Right, is kind of the thing. When does how skewed can a definition be? And you're right, the NOOC term used is a good example of that, right? And how it can just get thrown around. I think calling out the behavior can very much so still be useful. I don't know. I had an interesting question for you guys. Like that Nigerian man that you showed, does he owe? Well, no, never mind. I'll say it. Does he owe some type of a degree of reverence to foundational Black Americans to allow to not make a statement like that and run on things he knew would be racially inflammatory to get votes?
Yes, he do. His people probably the ones that sold us, being Nigerian, and two, he's melanated, so it should be some type of camaraderie, chemistry, allegiance, something there, but he doesn't.
But culturally, he has no ties, so why should he?
For the same reason why I'm sure there are Nigerian brothers that grew up in the same place he grew up that wouldn't do that. That's why he shouldn't do that, because there's people from his same land that have been like, no, I'm not doing that sucking shit. That's some sucker nigga shit.
That accent was egregious.
Whatever. you ain't never seen Belly, but whatever.
I have.
But
I know Belly.
but for real though, yeah.
T.O. what make you think that man never seen Billy?
Yeah, I felt offended in that. That offended me.
I thought that was funny.
Like, I don't know about Buns and Sincere. Come on now. But
no, but that's why though, you know, all Nigerians are not like that. It's a reason why that specific one is like that, right? I'm not gonna sell out all my Nigerians, I'm not gonna sell out all my Kenyans. We got conscious black-minded people you know, in every country, in Africa, throughout the African diaspora. But that's why you asked me what allegiance do we have? He got that same allegiance that them Nigerian brothers that I know rock with, you know, they know about white supremacy, right? And you don't help out white supremacy. Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking because I felt like, I don't know. As we were talking about this, it's almost like, I don't know. Skin color should breed allegiance over nationality. Am I wrong?
I'm trying to get over that skin color thing because, you know, the way things are in society today, it's hard to go by skin color, man, because it's so mixed. So I mean, we have to base things on what seed you come from, and you know why I think like that, Dre. You know why I stand on that. But I mean, going off of skin color will mess us up on viewing anything, basing anything off of skin color. It just wouldn't be right. Because they got a lot of Bob Marleys walking around in society today. They come from the seed of a European, of a white man, but they appear as a straight up black person. You feel me?
I hear you.
Hybrid.
So
I'm trying to fall back from the skin color thing.
Okay. So it's nationality then. It's cultural nationality for you more so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's my thing. Like culturally and nationally, that man is, I'm assuming, Nigerian. I don't to be honest know enough about.
Let me ask you one more. Let me ask you one more question. Let me get in there. So if it wasn't for us pushing, if it wasn't for our people pushing for the 1964 Civil Rights Act, where it said you can't discriminate upon color, right? He wouldn't even be over here to be in that position. So when you ask me, so let me go back to what you said.
Yeah.
You said, does he have any allegiance to foundational Black Americans? Yes, he do. Because the 1964 Civil Rights Act said that you can't discriminate to anybody based off of color, right? So yes, that Nigerian Sambo, he should be kissing our feet because of what we pushed. Because what our ancestors did, getting dogs, sicked on them, and Ruby Bridges and all. Come on now. You know, Dre. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to be honest with you, I'm trying to wrap my head around this one, whether or not nationality, like skin color in any way, shape, or form defines like a loyalty
could he be
as opposed to nationality.
Could he be in that position if the Civil Rights Act didn't get passed that we fought for?
No, he wouldn't be.
Okay. Well, don't he owe an elite? Don't he owe something to foundational Black Americans?
I don't know. I can't sit here and say that.
Big boy.
He's taking advantage of it. I can't say. I don't believe so. Just because he owes it. Just because he's taking advantage of it. No.
Big boy,
That
you
would
hear
be
that?
like yeah,
I
because
didn't
that
hear
would
him.
be
What
like
did he say?
this.
What were
Because
you
that would be like
white was
this.
talking to me?
Real fast. Let me say it real fast. Because that would be like a German immigrant coming over here now, right? And then has a child, and that child takes steps to do something that will be against what white Americans, let's just say a white a group that wants like superiority. He pushes for more interracial marriages or something, right? Or he pushes to do something that's detrimental to them. He doesn't owe that group of people an allegiance, even though they fought World War I, World War II, and all those things. He doesn't owe them an allegiance, right? I didn't get to see what you were putting up there. I was talking, but
Yeah, I'm about to read it. So basically, I'm saying that the Candace Owens, he's saying do the Nigerian have an allegiance to foundational Black Americans, right? And I'm saying yes because of this. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 significantly impacted the African diaspora in the United States by legally prohibiting discrimination in public accommodations, employment, and education, effectively ending segregations in public places. So what I'm saying is basically, big boy, he can't be in that position. Candace Owens can't be in this position to undermine us if we don't get that act passed for the 1964 civil rights,
right.
because that bill said that you can't discriminate based off of color.
Exactly. Who's
So don't Candace
disagreeing with
Owens, and that Nigerian owe an allegiance to foundational Black Americans?
you? Of course,
If
them. Not only
we
them.
fought to pass that.
Not only them. Asians. Anyone that's not considered.
Facts.
Yeah. The Arabics that come over here. Anybody that come over here and are able to get these rights because of that, they owe our allegiance to us. Not just the Africans or the brothers and sisters from the islands, but Asians, Mexicans that comes from Mexico, anybody that come over. You don't understand that concept, Dre?
Yeah, only reason I'm kind of only reason I'm kind of disagreeing with it, honestly, is because like I'm trying to put it in the realm of white, so to speak. And if someone who, like I said earlier, if someone who has a child who's a first year immigrant over here, let's say that from Germany or wherever the case may, Armenia, wherever the case may be, and that individual then runs for office and makes it to some whatever local position and starts to do things that go directly against the cultural practices of whatever group, majority white group there, he doesn't owe them an allegiance, even though they set up the structure, one, and two, even though they set up the structure, and two, they may have like implemented the laws that allowed him to get into that position. He doesn't owe them allegiances, right? That's how I don't get it. To me, it doesn't. I don't agree.
Hold on. Well, maybe Alexis from AI will help you out. Let me read this.
I'm ready.
While Black Americans have fought for other Americans, I can't read that. The thing is in the way. In various wars throughout history, their service often carry a deeper meaning as they fought not only for their nation, but also for the broader freedom and liberation of the African diaspora, even while facing significant racism and discrimination within their own country. So not only am I saying it and Big Boy saying it, but Alexis, AI, Google, Wiki, even they said we fought for African diaspora. So when you say, do we have an allegiance? Does that Nigerian have an allegiance to us? And I'll even insert, does a Candace Owens have an allegiance to us? Yes. And that's why when they undermine us, it's even more egregious, which is why we have to call them names, because we fought for them to even come over here. And they have the audacity. To undermine us. That's disgusting.
Well, look, this is let's go back to the example I gave real fast. I'm going to make it real for us real quick to see, and I'm going to ask you if it still follows the same suit. So that German person, right, whose parents came from Germany that first year, came here, ran for office, is now in somehow Hoboken, New Jersey. No, let's think of a more Alabama.
Let me get
somehow.
this one, POW. Go
Real
ahead.
fast, yeah. And so is in Alabama now and runs for office, makes mayor or whatever, some type of local level government, and starts to make drastic changes to reduce things like redlining in that area. Says, I'm not going to allow segregation to continue here, or something like, I'm not, those things, the things that are still actively happening, right? I'm going to work to fix the disparity in between minorities and white people in this area. Is that person, like, is it valid for that person, for the white people to call that person names if they're a white person too? And does that person hold an allegiance should they hold an allegiance to white people?
Well, you say call them names. That's what we can never come to draw a line in the sand, Dre, because you're saying that calling someone a tether is calling them a name, and it's basically identifying them for what they actually are.
The term, would you agree, is not derogatory?
No, it's just it explains who they are. I wouldn't see it as derogatory at all.
Yeah, I mean, so to answer, I'm sorry, I meant to cut you off. Could you speak to the example I gave with that? So you said no, it wouldn't be calling them names, but two, does that person owe white people an allegiance?
I don't think. Well, according to what you said, no, it would not be right for white people to call them names. You just want a straight answer. But the reason why I'm saying you using that for an example for what we're doing is because that's not someone that's not calling. That's not. I don't look at a tether being the same as a sellout or NOOC. Or anything of that nature. I think a tether is basically what the definition says it is.
Right.
So all we're calling out is your behavior is showing that, hey, this is what we expect from tethers because this is what tethers doing. Hey, you are a tether. Because of your action, you will qualify as a tether. And I don't think that's calling them a name.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm saying
is...
It
may not feel good because what tethers are is something I don't think is something to be, it's something that's respectable or honorable. So I can understand them feeling offended by it, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm asking is with the example I gave you about the white German man, right? One generation removed. Does he owe white people an allegiance?
They all owe each other allegiance, and let me tell you why. Because they're able to freely roam around this globe. And one thing that they all are going to have in common because of all of their ancestors that's created this dynamic is called white privilege. So yes, they owe that allegiance to each other because all of their ancestors created a psychological game that was able to put upon a group of people on the whole globe to give them the power dynamic that they have. And that's why white privilege and white supremacy is so strong globally. Would you not agree?
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. So if white people were to call that example of the person I gave you a race traitor because he was trying to reduce the redlining, fix the equity in that area in which he became a politician, if they called him a race traitor,
they would be wrong.
But that's an example of what he's doing, right?
Who?
The example I gave you, the German. That would be an example of what he's doing, right?
Okay, if he did what he did for the black community, he would be doing what's considered. His people will consider him a race traitor because they're gonna feel like you're supposed to be preserving all of that privilege for your own people. So view him naturally. They're gonna view him as a race traitor.
And so if that they started to call him that, that would be a natural byproduct and okay. And so if you get what I'm saying, like I feel like if
I
we
mean,
look
I
at
get
it,
where you're coming from, Dre. It's just not the nice thing. It's not the nice thing to do.
it's not even about being nice. I think that it's, if we look at it on its head, right, on its face, it sounds okay. But like, I just don't believe that a
But you agree? I'm
person's skin
sorry.
color. I
Yeah.
don't believe a person's skin color, if you don't have any kind of cultural and or national connection to a group of people, you're just naturally obliged. Even if the country came together, no matter how the country's structure came together, the sacrifices that people made, I don't think that a natural allegiance is owed to a group of people based on that. That it wouldn't make
Okay,
sense.
but I understand you don't believe it should be, but would you agree that there's a natural allegiance that people have with their own kind globally? Could you agree with at least that?
Yeah, people have. Yeah, I call that cultural. People have cultural connections with their own kind. Yes.
Okay, that's wrong. You would consider that wrong, right?
Having cultural connections with your people? No, that's not. That's just a byproduct of growing up in a culture. It's not wrong.
Oh, so you're saying it's not wrong for Asians to come to America, and when they get their thriving business going, they hire their own. You don't see anything wrong with that?
That's not the same thing as what we just said. You just said connecting with a group of people based on your culture. It's not the same thing.
Well,
But it's still
the
yet
whole,
though. Oh,
you know the whole conversation has been about allegiance, right?
right,
Who you giving your allegiance to, right?
right.
So, with giving your allegiance to a group of people that are only the people that you see yourself as, right? Because that's basically what we're talking about at this point. Would you agree?
Yes, culturally. You notice I keep on making this delineation. Culturally, yes.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's talk about Mexicans, right? You don't see anything wrong with Mexicans looking out for Mexicans.
Within their community, no, I don't.
Okay. So if we see Mexicans and all Mexicans do is hire Mexicans in their establishments, in their businesses, or if we see Arabics, we see groups from Yemen, and all they have in their stores is other Arabics from Yemen, or we see some Arabics from Jerusalem or Pakistan, and all they do is hire people from Pakistan. We will find nothing wrong with that, right? And let me show you the difference, because I've learned this in business since I've been doing business with my accounts and these other business and establishing relationship with a lot of these Arabic groups. Even to the point where it go outside of what you're saying, because Arabics from Yemen and Arabics from Pakistan and all those different places, they're going to be more loyal to each other. They're going to be more loyal to. I made a mistake and hit that button, baby. They're going to be more loyal to each other than they will for foundational Americans. So if you run across some Arabics and some from Yemen and you got some others from Palestine, but I think what would draw that together is them being Muslim. So it might be different.
Yeah, religion is one of the biggest driving factors. Than culture. To say the truth,
Well,
that's why the Holy Roman Catholic Church was able to have such a galvanizing force in multiple countries.
yeah, but that's in some instances. Like I told you, I've established relationships. I've seen them be kind and loving to like Africans. I know some Muslim Africans that are from Africa, and they would stop by and come see some of these Arabics and some of these establishments, and they're kind to them. They speak to them, but they don't still have the same camaraderie or that same love and passion that they show those Black African Muslims that they do to another Arabic Muslim at all.
I don't know.
At all. So, But I will be honest. They respectful and they're kind to him. But it ain't the same. Like brother, you have anything you need is here. I got you. It ain't that same kind of lookout. They don't look out for black Africans like that.
Mm.
Unless I read the energy wrong.
Yeah, but to speak to to speak to what you said, that specific practice, I don't see anything necessarily inherently wrong with that. Um, in order to build a community economically, I've said that before. That was actually a part of the solution I gave before, right? Small black businesses working with wholesale black businesses to provide them the resources for their products and so on and so forth to create a pool of revenue in the community, to create a charter school in the community, and after the charter school, to raise a set of professionals that will stay in the community if you keep the community safe based on policing by people who are policed from that community, all in the way to create an infrastructure for the community. I remember, I don't know if you remember, I talked through in detail that plan before.
Oh, okay. Hey, look. I first of all, apology is owed to you. And if it's okay with my brother, uh, Furious, because this is his space. Do you mind if I give a proper introduction or allow our guest the opportunity to give an introduction to himself, so the people that come back and listen know who the brother is, and introduce the people to who we've been speaking with on POW. That's okay.
Yeah, hell yeah, go for it, man. Now we can go to stereo in a couple of minutes. I'm about to be done with
Okay.
this.
Well, first of all, Dre, we would like to appreciate you for coming through, sliding by, coming to be a guest. You family, man.
Yeah, man, appreciate that, Dre, for sure.
Anytime, Dre, anytime. We would love to see you more often coming through, sliding through, building with us, brother. We appreciate everybody for coming through to Death Before Bondage YouTube page. That's for my brother Furious. I think he's got a dope um, perspective that he speaks from that we all need to listen to, hear, get behind, and support. You guys go check his videos out on his YouTube page. I appreciate the brother giving me the honor to be his co-host. I appreciate you for that, brother Furious. Dre, I would like for you to just take out a moment to speak and let everyone know who you are. If you got any if you got websites, any social media that you would like to be followed on, you can put that out there as well. Once again, appreciate you, brother, for coming through, being a part of this build, and I hope that you're a part of more. I really do.
All right. Well, thank you. Again, Furious, Big Boy, thank you guys for allowing me to join. I appreciate you inviting me here. Yeah, no, I go by Just Dre or Dre. I'm a marriage and family therapist. I'm located in Hawaii. I don't really have anything to plug at this point. I just appreciate you guys for allowing me to be a part of your conversation today.
Okay. No. And I'm sure, I hope you guys are getting to know me by now. BB225. My brother Furious and I co-host with each other on other sites. I consider this my little brother. Much love for him. And hopefully you guys are going to see more and more of us, because we bringing this thing on the road. And YouTube is going to be our home now. So hopefully you guys, anybody that come across this video and hear it, you guys will come back and be a part of the bill as well, man. Thank you once again, Furious, for providing this space for us to have these great conversations as black men. Appreciate that. And we're gonna have an after party on the other site that we go to. Everybody know where that is. And that's where you find Dre giving some great dope shows on stereo. I'll go check the brother out. He's just humble. But yeah. POW there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I'm going to stand down. I appreciate you guys allowing me up. Thank you so much.
Hopefully we'll see you later on them stereo streets, Dre.
All right, we'll see. I got a couple things I got to do now. I was actually working as we were talking, but we'll see.
Okay.
I'll be over there. All right, now.
Thanks,
Have a
bro.
good one, gentlemen.
Have a good one.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Buried me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
Brought to you by Death Before Bondage.
I might be anywhere, but when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.